So we've had quite a few risks. It'll probably be because the ball deceleration rate is changing. And slowly the computer calibrates the discrepancies out.
Horizontal, doesn't it?
Enter 10. Enter 1. Or confirm.
Quick look at our data again. Yeah. So it looks. It is giving even clearer now. I'll just pass it around. It looks like we might have 3 peaks, but if we were betting, have a look at it. Basically half the chart. The profit would be absolutely enormous. But yeah, I'll pass it around.
And this is with
Yep. So we've got
dominant vertical and a dominant horizontal.
dominant vertical, dominant horizontal. So this is that's one horizontal.
Yep.
And is this the other one?
Yep.
Okay, so these are about 120 degrees off. Yep, and is that the far one over there? That's vertical, is it?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Probably also.
So you'd be betting maybe just around the 0, left and right.
That's that diamond there.
Yeah.
On that, yeah. Yep.
So those
you
two,
could cover the whole area as 18 pockets, but you'd probably be better off
One hasn't
bidding
had any
individual
hits.
peaks. So maybe
Yeah.
2 peaks.
That one
That are maybe
hasn't
a
had any
couple of
hits.
pockets apart.
Right.
See,
That one's
maybe
had no
based
hits.
on that, I'd be looking at the Grand Series and just be playing those.
The what, sorry?
Oh, the Grand Series. I mean, I'm looking at those peaks there.
Yeah.
Series.
You want to
Yeah.
focus on it, and yeah. I'll actually calibrate the computer
Grand
to use
Series?
those peaks now.
From the 18 up until about the 25.
Oh, is there
The numbers will change though.
Yeah.
Like it's yeah. Yeah, that's right. Was the pen? I need a pen and paper or something. Someone write this down for me, please.
Sure.
Positive 2.
Yep.
Positive 12. And negative 5.
So the positive is the right hand side of the 0 side, the negatives are
Yep.
reversed.
And in the middle is negative 18. So negative 5 plus 12. What else is there? Plus 2.
Yeah.
How many hours of practice do you recommend?
It varies. If it's a really easily beaten wheel, you can learn easily within an hour. If it's quite difficult and you need complicated settings, then it might be realistically a week or so, depending on how quickly you learn. I mean, everyone's different, everyone learns a different rate. Okay, so we're going to call out negative 5, plus positive 12, positive 2, and negative 5. And that'll be 4 numbers called. You call them in order of priority, so the most important one first, and then the second most important second, and so on and so forth.
So
Alright, we'll continue on.
It's hard to get good at all.
$500, I think it'd be good. So we get 4 numbers called here. 29, 6 and 0 are the most important ones.
That's brilliant. 1, 6 and 0.
Enter 10. Enter 1.
6 and 0.
Meeting. Confirm. Playing.
So the first one would have been a win. You could even, if you're betting high enough, you could just leave.
Right?
Oh, you caught out 18 before? Yeah.
Sorry, how many numbers would you be covering? You
Um,
can see the side of these numbers.
24.
I would have to look at the chart.
Yeah.
24,
9.
24, 0, 9, I think.
4, 0,
I think we're roughly covering 5 numbers per peak.
Right.
What does that mean? You're putting on 15 numbers?
Enter 10. Enter 1.
Let me tell you for sure.
Confirm. Playing.
The first peak, optimal about, it's actually 6. See, two of these peaks overlap. So you've got 5 numbers, 10, The ideal situation would be to be betting about 10 numbers, which are right next to each other, almost perfectly. Let me just make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 numbers. 11 numbers would be what you would probably do, but we're actually covering... I'll have to walk around with this to show you. That's our main peak there.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, grab around and grab a look there. So that's our main peak there. That's another peak there, and that's another one there. That's our first one we're calling. I think that's the second one, and the third one. So not in order of priority. So in total, that is actually part of that peak there. We could cover entire half a wheel from there to there, and that's the low area. So that's we'll get wins on almost every spin anyway. And so the edge is enormous. But if you want to really get technical and get the highest edge possible, you'd bet individual peaks, but that's less practical because you don't always get time to bet all those numbers.
Really, four numbers around each peak, you know? And that's where the dominance, vertical and horizontal. Having a horizontal.
Yeah, well, they're actually being generated by the combination of the dominant diamonds and the ball speed when it falls. There's a lot of different variables. Is everyone understanding everything? Is it reasonably clear?
Not really, but yeah.
Usually takes the average person about an hour just to get hang of the clicking.
I'm a little bit confused as to you've got the 3 peaks there. Just go through, like if you've picked 18, 21, how many numbers around there would you cover? And yeah.
Well, in a typical missed the actual.
Very clear
Sorry.
peaks there.
No, that's all right.
There are, yeah.
I'll just pass this around also. This is the racetrack again, and you see the dots on 3 different locations. Can someone tell me, was there any dot near 13?
I was only good to be able to.
Oh, I can look, that's all right. No problems.
I think that one is fine.
Oh, it's hard to fit the racetrack in the actual thing. You just look at the location of the dot, that's 0, and 0's on the right-hand side. I'll look at it anyway.
Well, 0's on the right-hand side, 13, so mid-right. Yes, it is.
I take it after you've looked at it a million times, you'd also
That's 0
be a
on
lot
the right-hand
easier to...
side, is it, Steve?
Yeah.
Right-hand side?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, it's right next to 13.
So he's probably looked at it that many times, he just...
If you calibrate over, say, 60 spins, and that's when, by the time you get reasonable peaks, then realistically, you're going to have to play over that many spins during the play period to get the same kind of edge that reflects the actual chart. Now, I'll try and explain that in a different way. You might, if you do calibration over 60 spins, and then you try and play over 5 spins, then anything can happen over 5 spins. It's really short term. The idea is to get your profit and get out of the casino as quickly as possible in how many spins as you need.
It takes 5, awesome. If it takes 60, so be it.
Yep.
13. Confirm. Leg.
One. 10, 29.
Okay, so
Right up one.
got it. Could tell straight away.
Enter one.
So Steve, what you're saying basically is walk in the casino, figure in your mind that you want to win $1,000, win your $1,000 and walk.
That's it. Yep.
So
If
it's
you-
no different to in that regard. It's no different to just going out.
So if you're walking a casino or
Well,
winning $1,000.
Yeah. It's knowing when to walk as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you find that you're taking more spins than you thought and you may be down a bit,
Yeah.
risk, then you're probably better off to walk anyway. Just consider the losses. Well, it always in the long term anyway. You're going to make it back. You know that.
Yep.
So just accept the loss. If you find that the charts are not clear or whatever, then you might be missing something. Something may have changed. You might know. Maybe there's just a little too much dirt or grit on the ball track. There's a lot of different variables, but you're looking at a long-term advantage with anything in roulette. Anything gambling is long-term, and this is as short-term as you can possibly get it, with the exception of finding a much easier to beat wheel. That's
Yeah. Okay. So you walk in there, 60 spins, and if it doesn't look good, spend another hour and a bit to do another wheel.
Yep, we'll find different conditions. Yep.
So if a hard wheel is a 10 and an easy wheel is a 1, this wheel at the moment, where would this be sitting at?
The way it is now, with the dominant diamonds, with a horizontal diamond that's dominant, you've got a vertical that's about 120 degrees off. You're looking at around about 8, 9.
So it's actually quite a hard wheel.
Yeah, it is a hard wheel. You notice the way the ball falls. That's not consistent.
What was that? What was that, high five?
I said 8.5.
Oh, did you? Good work.
What numbers did it say then?
I was
Fraser
risk-
said 8.4, so I said 9 when I got up.
We're actually getting risk called a lot more frequently than we normally will. That's because of the knee point position and when we're getting prediction.
Slippery fingers.
Could also be that the sweat from the fingers can actually change the ball deceleration rate. It picks up 5, 26, 31.
Get a deal again.
So that would have been a win because within 5.
What was the number for?
26, yeah.
26.31.
Cover that. Yeah.
When you say when in 5, you'd go maybe 2 prior and maybe 2 after, is that right?
Well,
Sorry, say that again.
If, let's say it called out number 26, so in other words, you'd actually bet 2 before 26 and 2 after 26, is that right? Or
Oh, I don't follow what you mean.
Oh.
He's saying the number of numbers when you bet on.
How many numbers?
how would you,
Well, each so you'd cover 26, 3, 35, 0 and 32.
exactly,
So that 5 number
that's
up.
exactly what I
And then,
mean.
so can you do that for what was the other predictions? Do you remember what the other numbers were?
I missed
26.
let's call it that. You bet on those. You bet
So
on
then,
those, you bet on those.
If
and
you're doing
make
3
those.
numbers, you could be betting up to 15 numbers.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, 3
yeah,
beats
yeah.
and yeah.
But-
We'll look at the next prediction and we'll see how many we'll
Yeah.
recover if we actually did it perfectly. Seventeen, 14, 30. 17, 14, 30. So that would have been a loss actually. So 17 is over there, 14 and 14, we were just missed out by 2 pockets. 17, 14, 30. So if we've covered here, where's it?
Yeah.
17, 14, 14,
30.
17, and 30 over here. So if we're doing perfect bets, it's actually 15 numbers.
So there's no overlaps on this.
No, actually it's not. Yeah,
And with further data, could those jump or the peaks change?
They can if the conditions change, in which case you have to use the we'll get to that later
Okay.
on. You're basically looking, I won't explain too much about the calibration, but sometimes if the ball travels too far or less of a distance, then the beep of when the computer beeps when the ball's predicted to fall will be too far off, then you can calibrate it. Now what you actually do normally when you're calibrating is you want the beep to be when the ball hits a particular diamond, and it usually has to be the dominant diamond, and that's when you know if something's changed. We're not actually worrying about that. That's a more advanced feature. This is as basic as it gets. With these settings, if I was to switch to a new ball, the first 30 or so spins will be crap, really bad accuracy, and after that it will start to pick up on it. That's because it would have to reverse all the previous data and override it and say, okay, well, this is new data.
Have you worked out a way that, to save time in the way that, let's say you walked into the casino and they've got the numbers up there on the screen, like the top, I don't know, 20 numbers or whatever. Are you able to just input all those numbers in and then just input the next ones after that as well?
You're talking about going from the actual marquees? No, you go
You need the other physical analysis as well.
No, I just thought if you put in half of those and then just half of these on.
Oh, I think you're talking more about analysis rather than I mean, when you're dealing with non-computer techniques for prediction, such as the genuine winner system, it takes a lot longer, and you need data manually. You need stuff like
But on the tables, they miss numbers quite regularly. So you're relying on those numbers there, you're getting wrong information.
The John Huxley equipment for number detection is supposed to be 100% accurate. That's their claim. 33, 15, 18.
Wow.
Good demo, Steve.
Steve, let's say you're betting 10 buck bets, okay? 13, 15, 18.
And plus the fives.
Yeah, no, but just those core numbers. Are you bet instead of putting $5 on or $10 on? Sometimes you're better off putting, let's say, instead of 5, you put 10 on those ones and 5 on the back ones, or.
You're talking about the priority of the actual predictions. Yeah, you can do that, but over the long term, it really doesn't make a difference because it's all happening in the long term. In this case, that was actually the lowest priority one that actually won. I think it was
13,
anyway.
15, 18, that's right.
Yeah. I mean, the way the data is, from what we're seeing, we should have a win almost looking like 90% of the spins.
Yeah.
Okay, 12-1.
Yeah.
So it's a win.
Yeah,
So,
it's a win.
Enter 10. Enter 1.
again, that was on the lower priority one.
Flag.
See what diamond?
So 8 would have been the higher one, is that what you're saying?
So take one step back. These computer screens that you're talking about, you can actually program.
What were the predictions then? Anyone get them?
I think.
No.
Okay.
I'm not sure what it was. Hang on a second.
16.
What are we all looking at?
Listening intently.
I think that might have been a loss. No, here's one. think that actually might be a win.
Yeah, I think it did say 1. Is that the answer?
Can't actually read the data, so we'd have to actually see 10. Let's just figure this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I go the other way. Prediction was 16. It's right on 16. Anyone want to check that? Just counter right. I'm pretty sure. Drink anyone? Help yourselves. I was going to get some.
Orange juice.
Sorry, Mark. I missed what you were saying. I got a bit distracted. Okay, it's time for a break. I'm just not focusing here.
Yeah.
So everyone's happy with the data there. It's pretty clear. It doesn't get much clearer than that.
That was over 60 spins, is that right? Yeah.
So,
I'll see how much we got.
Close to it.
57 spins.
Yeah.
So I initially said that you can take up to 60 or so spins to calibrate. We did it well before then, though.
may sound like a silly question, Steve, but I know you don't look at that while you're inside the casino, so what do? You go for a walk outside?
You do about 30 or so spins, then you leave and then you can check it. If you've got one dominant diamond, then you can expect, if it's calibrated properly, that you'll have one peak, and you can set it to automatically tune, and then you don't need to look at that at all.
Okay.
It's still always best to look at it. I mean, the algorithms are, they're good, but they're not. Nothing's perfect.
Yeah.
You have to use your own judgment on what's good. If the peaks aren't clear enough, something might be missing, and then you might have to change settings, change wheels, who knows. It's sometimes in rare circumstances you might have a good wheel with very strong dominant diamonds, but there might be some other variables you don't know about that might actually change the peaks and make it a much more difficult wheel to beat. Ultimately, you have to rely on the chart, and the chart tells you everything you need to know.
So you totally remove yourself from the casino
Well, you'd have to.
premises?
Just go to the toilet.
Yeah.
Toilets enough?
Yep, it's fine.
They don't have cameras in toilets?
No, they're not allowed to.
Okay.
In most countries, anyway.
Shoot.
They might
I
have
wouldn't
it.
trust it.
Yeah, I nearly thought you'd have to go right off the premises.
Nah.
I don't think in the car park you got any.
You can go out the car park, but then you might have to give your ID again.
Yeah, that's true.
18, 34, 26.
Okay, so
That's another wheel.
yeah, beautiful.
Enter 10. Enter 1.
So you're creating a dominant chart as well.
Diamond hit charts is what you were doing.
Yeah, but if you're in there, clocking
Well,
30 spins
what you
or
would
60
normally do
spins.
is when you're doing the diamond hit charts to figure out if there's dominant diamonds or whatever.
And you go through those, you give those sort of
In training.
training?
Yeah. And it just depends on the conditions you're up against, and you get to learn 27, 27, 22, 10. That happens right next to her.
Enter 10. Enter 1.
It's a pretty good run.
Confirm.
But just so there's no doubt about it, I want to continue. I mean, for anyone that was actually analysing the data, it'd be perfectly clear, but especially since I'm recording it, I want there to be plenty of data to look at later on. And soon I'll pull apart the wheel so you can see from the other side, especially in the rotor, you can see that there's a tamper-proof little security feature.
21. 0. 9.
2409. next to 9.
Etiquette. Enter 1. 1, 2.
That could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, it's one minute roll up going through.
Yeah. The thing is
Yeah,
about
still
those spins, when I call them floaters, when they're all over the place and they go around and around, technically they are predictable, but over the long term. You're talking like 30 to, it depends on what the wheel's like, but you can take up to 100 spins before you actually establish as a pattern from that behaviour. But with these settings we're using, we're looking at what happens all over the long term, all factors considered, including the ball hits when it hits a diamond and goes straight down, included with another diamond hit, and it's all combined to create the overall charts, and that's what we're doing here.
Have you seen on, have you noticed on the V3 DVD, it's that floater from hell. It goes around 4 times, just rolling on the numbers.
Yeah.
Number 40, 30.
7, 14, 30. No, it's a loss. Okay, it's not perfect.
Etiquette. Enter 1. 2.
Yeah, it's going there.
Confirm. Playing. Up. Risk. Playing.
So we look at the data again. Yeah, I mean, especially the peak on the very far right of the chart, it really doesn't get any clearer than that. I'll just pass it around again just quickly.
Oh.
Yeah.
So betting
That's pretty
15 numbers. Did I say there was an overlap on these ones?
Well,
No, this one didn't.
this one doesn't overlap. It's very close to overlapping though.
Yeah.
Basically, I think the ones on the edges of the charts can overlap if you like. Like I'm saying, like 5 numbers and 5 numbers is almost right next to each other.
Okay, so we're betting 15 numbers, hit rate, average hit rate.
Did you haven't recorded the
The
results?
About 90%.
No,
you haven't in
just the diamond hits.
Okay.
Well, either way, I'll probably publish this video anyway. I'll have to censor parts of it, but we can have a good look at it later on. But the chart, if we were to completely erase the data and get again, do it all again, with this, if the conditions stay consistent, we'll get exactly the same peaks anyway.
20.
So average win rates, 1 in.
Well, if we're betting 15 numbers, I'll have to look at the chart to tell you exactly. I think we're winning about 90% of the time. Yeah.
It's a huge problem.
Let's play.
You'd be up a heap just now, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, you'd be killing them. Yeah. Like you wouldn't want to stay in the casino.
No, you'd be out.
90%.
You'd be
Yeah,
gone
you would
already,
have been, would have been out a long time ago.
Yeah.
You'd be back in the bar drinking pina coladas.
Yep. Okay, well, so we've got 61 spins in total. If you remember from the very start of it, I said the actual peak location mainly on the left and mainly on the right, and they've just grown. That itself is the actual proof of it. And we've got the time on it at all? 20 to 1. Okay, we'll continue on a little bit longer, then we'll basically conclude the public part of it, and the players can stay behind, but I've still got to teach a bit of visual ballistics as well. So we'll do a few more spins.
Eating.
13, 18, 5.
Etiquette.
Let's play birthdays. Yeah.
Oh, actually, it's still got to show some other features of the computer as well. I probably don't have time to show them all, but I'll explain them. 2136.
36.
Minus the 2.
Fuck, man. I can't believe this.
When
So-
you start to take bets?
Oh,
Can we start playing bets?
Oh.
Play some bets.
Yeah, you would have started.
bring it to the table.
The banker.
Um, Just a few things about the different settings. The single player is one thing. The real gem is the two-player version. It allows you to get predictions much earlier, more accurate because you've got two people clocking the wheel. I can hook up the phones. I might need a bit of a volunteer just to.
Come.
Sure.
What is going on? These wireless versions are really tricky to get right. If you remember I was saying at the start, because it's all encrypted and you have to make it so the casino, they run a scan of the networks in the casino, they can determine if there's something that's most likely to be a roulette computer. For those of you who know Forrester, he's the only other one with a wireless version. But if you do a network scan, it's very, very easily visible. So you're basically announcing that you're a computer user.
So how detectable are these then?
They're almost impossible to detect.
Really?
Yeah,
Almost.
yeah. Well, that's a lot of part of the development has actually gone into making sure of that.
Because that's what I read on one of the forums. There was like someone who brought up some company that specialises in the
Yep.
scan.
If you want to detect it, you have to have the same kind of equipment that the police have, and you would have to. And it would only look like just basic radio interference. You wouldn't be able to actually detect any networks or anything like that. Forrester's computers, they're wireless. It's basically a Bluetooth muse, which is like a wireless thing for your ear. Yeah, that's what it basically is. And it transmits the audio in a constant signal, which is like a radio beacon. Where these actually send a very short burst with a predicted number, and to that looks like a bit of static. So it's very difficult to detect.
Fuck, that's IT.
Okay.
So if
Okay, I'm gonna show this. The computer can do a lot of different things, but what I'm actually going to show you is just show you one person clocking the rotor and the other one clocking the ball. And usually you use it with an A tilt setting, which means you can get predictions any time in the spin, whereas with these settings we're only isolating to a particular time in the spin. So normally we'd use A tilt, but I'm going to try it with optional, which is isolating a ball speed.
fixture. Go to fixture.
I have to figure out which button's which. That's the wheel.
These ball sizes.
Yeah, well those are the... Yeah, there's really only two main sizes they use, basically those two.
So they are slightly different sizes?
Slightly different sizes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah.
I'm just thinking, is everyone satisfied with the accuracy of what you've actually seen early on? Okay, yeah, alright. Just making sure.
Just
I'm expecting 100%.
Just what?
Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
I'm not satisfied with 90%.
Sorry, mate. All right, so what I'll show you is a different algorithm. This is if you really want predictions as early as possible. If you can see 0 there and there, then you can use that as long as it's consistent.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So, much quicker.
That was a prediction.
Yeah.
What was it?
All you, had
20?
all you had to do is just do a half rotor revolution, and I had to do my 4 clicks, and that's it.
That was crazy.
You can get much earlier than that, though. If you need it much earlier, though, you can do a quarter revolution. But with quarter revolution, you talk
Accuracy.
bullshit.
Oh, but we're not even concerned with that, are we?
We're not looking at that yet. Yeah, it's actually using the data from the previous chart, which is calibrated there, but we really shouldn't pay attention to the accuracy anyway.
Yeah.
Not at this stage.
No.
No, they don't want to pay
Instead of fleet stick.
Might have been, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I like your fleets.
Yep. So
Money down on one number, eh?
Flag.
this time we'll use quarter revolution.
Oh, see, this is getting a bit difficult.
How fast?
No, you'll be right.
Yeah. Now this takes practice. This is where the skill comes into it. Now, realistically, a quarter revolution, we would be both taking timings of the rotor, and then it averages the time between them, because a quarter revolution by yourself is quite a big error, and you're going to really dilute your edge.
Yep.
That's only for a very slow rotor, correct? You
Um,
would utilise that.
Yeah, realistically, yeah. Unless you're confusing me. All we're doing is, say, for example...
2 clicks.
Two clicks, yeah. Okay, so a click there and click there, it's a quarter revolution. Yeah. And all I have to do is my 2 clicks for the ball. Now, you can get predictions that early, fine. But to get accurate predictions that early, you realistically need 2 players. That means 2 people clocking 1 revolution of the ball, and only one of us needs to do the rotor. I can have it so one of us does the rotor, the other one does the ball. Both of us do the ball and the rotor. One of us both of us do the rotor, and only one of us does the ball. I can do it in any different way.